Happy Tuesday, everyone. We're back with another episode of Ask Tony Tuesday where we ask this guy all the questions.
And I will answer all the questions.
All of them?
All of them.
If you haven't got a clue, Tony's got the answer for you.
To the best of my ability.
Okay. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, it's raining, but
Yeah,
at least it's not snowing.
it's not the best day, but
At
it
least
was
it's not snowing.
like sleeting. Is that what that's called? Like
Yeah,
there was some
yeah.
ice this morning.
Because
so-
the only thing worse than carrying a piece of heavy stone is carrying a piece of heavy stone on ice and snow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so snow is not something I look forward to.
I like the warmth.
Yes.
So hopefully we're getting to that soon.
Oh, I hope so.
But for now, I have a question for you.
Okay.
First question of the day. How do you dispose of the old countertops?
Okay, so when we do a rip out or a removal disposal, we used to donate them to like Goodwill or something. They used to want them, and now they don't even want them anymore. So unfortunately, we cut them up and we put them in a dumpster for, the garbage. But it always was nice when we were putting them aside, the old sinks, the old faucets, the old countertops, and we'd have Goodwill or somebody, they would come in and they would pick them up and they were getting repurposed. But that hasn't been the case anymore. So if there's somebody out there that does that wants old mica countertops, let us know. Call us. Let us know. We will put them aside. And because if somebody needs counter, I would love to donate them instead of put them in the trash.
Right.
But that's the case we have right now. So if there's somebody out there that does that, please call us and we'll put them aside.
That's really cool. I wish
Yeah.
they still did that, and I wonder why they stopped.
I don't know. I think it was somebody had said it was more of a hassle for them because, all the the countertops are all different sizes. So to find the right fit for what people were looking for, and then they had a problem of, how many do we hang on to? How many, because they were just taking up space until you found the right countertop that fit, the project they wanted to put in. So, and if you cut it, then the edge is exposed and you got to finish the edge somehow. But the sinks and the faucets, they're not always in a greatest of shape, but, still, they're always usually in good working condition. The sinks maybe, stainless steel may have some scratches in there or something, but, nothing that, some elbow grease wouldn't clean up to make a decent sink.
Well, let us know.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Second question of the day.
Okay.
What are the different types of supports you can use underneath stone?
Okay, so you're talking about on overhangs and stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So an overhang, generally, it depends on the stone. Sometimes if you have a really tight grained stone or a quartz, if you go 10 inches or less, you really don't need a support. Sometimes it's with quartz, you go 12 inches, you don't need any additional support. When you start, if it's a natural stone, especially a stone that has a lot of mica and big veining, you want support. So I'm always a proponent of, I'd much rather have too much support than not enough support. Because if it breaks, somebody's probably going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So I always like to have more support than not enough. Some people use decorative corbels, that's part of their cabinetry. So that sticks out and it holds up that overhang. Some people, if it's a really big overhang, will use what they call a post and a rail system. Also part of the cabinetry where you'll have posts and then the rail is the piece that goes across, connects the post to the cabinet.
Yeah.
And that's for big overhangs. That's why some people go 2, 3, 4 feet overhangs and they seat all the way around it. So you would need a post and rail system for something that big. For regular overhangs at 12 inches or so, or even 14, 16, we use these flat steel brackets. And they come in all different sizes. We carry all different sizes depending on what we need them, how long we need them. And they get screwed into, if it's a knee wall, they get screwed into the knee wall. If they're a cabinet, they get placed inside the cabinet. Sometimes we have to put some wood in there as a brace, but it's a flat steel bracket. It's usually in 3/8 or 1/2 inch, depending on the overhang.
Okay.
And we screw that in. And some builders want to do it themselves. They provide the brackets. If they do it, it's very important that it's level to the cabinetry. and then the top sits on top of that. But if it's not level, they're not touching, it's worthless.
Yeah.
So we prefer to do it this way. We know it's completely level. This way that overhang is sitting right on top of those supports. But like I said, we use a flat steel bracket. It's usually black. Sometimes they come in a sand color, but it's usually one of those two.
So if it is like not level, like say you put the stone in and it isn't level, how would you fix something like that?
Well, then we'd have to shim it again. And so now you're looking, you have the bracket here, and say you have the bracket here and the stone is here, and there's that space in there. So we have to fill that somehow. So then we have to put some sort of shimming in there, and then use silicone all the way around to hold it in place and to have it stick to make sure it's sticking to something. But ideally you want it to sit right on the bracket.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to put a shim on top of it. It's just simple enough to just make sure that the brackets are level, so you don't have to do any shimming. And that's the same thing when we do we do it on the cabinets. That's why we always say, make sure your cabinetry is level, because we don't want to have to shim it.
Yeah.
The more shims you put in, the less, a good job you're doing. You want it to be nice and flat, nice and level, so you don't have to do any shimming. And we can only shim up so far. If if we're shimming up, 3/8, quarter inch, 3/8. I mean, that's a big gap under there. And then we put silicone in there, but you don't want to see that. You'd rather be perfectly level, goes right on top. The top is perfectly level, and that's the best job. So it's like everything else. The prep work makes the end result better. So the better the prep work, the more everything is perfect and nice and level, the better and easier our job can be when we do the installation.
Right, and you don't want it to look ugly underneath too, because sometimes, if somebody drops something and they go to pick it up, say at a bar or something, and you're looking underneath, you don't want to see all of that going on. All right, those are all the questions I have for you today.
Okay.
Thank you for answering our question as always.
My pleasure.
Thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like, share, or comment. Thank you guys once again, and we will see you next week with another episode. Have a wonderful Tuesday.
Does that feel good on your back? Oh my god. Brianna, don't do that again.